every single time. That's what we're talking about today.
Yes, indeed. Yes. Proof over promises, which is super interesting because you're like, oh no, people will trust a promise. Not more than the proof that you have. So why does proof, we're going to talk about today, why does proof convert more buyers even if you have like the best promise ever? And what kind of proof actually like works? Like which type of proof do you need? Because sometimes clients will come to us and they'll be like, "Oh, I have this," and we'll be like, that's not gonna convert them. That's not gonna push them over the edge and get them to say yes to you over someone else. And how do you gather enough proof when you're starting out, when you haven't really helped anyone? So in today's episode, like Greta said, we're going to be showing you how to help, um, how we've helped clients leverage proof strategically inside, obviously, of everything with their ads, funnels, and offers. There's just a little side note. There's certain proof things that you can't put into ads, but seek, talk to your ad experts, talk to your like look in your area, whatever your niche and industry is. There's certain proof that you can't put in those. And we're going to talk about proof inside your offers, and so that way you have evidence instead of just like all this hype that goes on to like, oh, work with me, when there's so much that's like your clients are seeing everywhere online. So we're going to share 4 kinds of proof today that you can start collecting today for your business to share with your clients.
Yeah, for sure. So I am going to start off by talking about how recent proof will always be better than old proof. Your 5 year old testimony, even your 1 year old testimony, isn't selling today's buyers. Everybody's been burned in the market. Everybody's heard all of the promises and the guarantees. They're looking to see that you've helped somebody recently. And I was trying to come up with a story like from our personal experience, but the reality is we don't use old testimonials. One of the very first things we do is work with you to collect new and recent testimonials. And Judy's going to talk through later in this episode how we do that. But I did have an experience recently when I was attending somebody else's masterclass. You guys know me and Judy are constantly attending different master classes because we like to study the way that other people do them. And so I was in a master class specifically on utilizing ads to create passive income. And this individual had great information, a really good structure to her masterclass, and it got to the testimonials section. And she was showing ads data from 2020, 2021. And I immediately started laughing. Thankfully, she couldn't see my face because it wasn't one where we could see each other. Because I immediately had red flags. And I was like, no matter how good this information is, the way ads were run in 2020 and the success somebody could experience in 2020 is nothing like what they could experience in 2025. Literally anybody could have run ads and was making money in 2020. It is so different now. And so she was immediately a non-credible source for me, whether that's right or wrong. Her program could be amazing. But the fact that she was using proof from 2020 was like an immediate no from me. So ultimately, you need to realize that fresh proof feels real to the people who you're talking to, and old proof feels outdated, and it feels like, well, she hasn't experienced success in insert amount of time. So keep all of your success stories as current as possible.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it's the same thing too if you think about your habits too. When you're going online and buying something, Greta, I don't know if you're like this, but when I go online, I'm going to buy something on Amazon. I'm like looking for the most recent ratings and
100%.
reviews,
Yep.
right? Like you're buying things for your
They
kids.
might
I'm
have changed the fabric between the
like,
two.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Totally. When I'm going to look for anyone to do anything, nails, facials, whatever, I'm looking for those most recent things and I'm going on their Instagram and I'm like, okay, client results, like what year, even like in the highlights, I'm like, what year was this? Like, when was the last client result that was posted? I'm totally going there. So think about yourself and what you do when you're looking for the thing that you spend the most money on. Sometimes for some of you on here, you're like, I don't spend anything on myself. Okay, well, what do you spend for your kids or whatever when you're
Your
about to shop?
spouse, your significant other, your
Exactly.
household, whatever it is.
Yeah, your favorite person, whoever you're shopping for, your dog, whatever. So then, so now you have current proof. So then how do you collect that proof? What type of proof do you collect? I feel like is point two, is visual proof is way better than just text. So a lot of people, for instance, will be like, oh, like they'll make a pretty Canva graphic that's like 5 stars at the top and then their nice, pretty quote from their client and da 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 business owner. Those are great. Those are great for you. Those are great for you. But it's very, very weak to get somebody to convert. They're like, who is this person? Do I align with this person? Remember, people are looking for proof from other people who look, think, or like them.
Or
So
was that quote taken out of context? There's
yeah,
so many. Yeah.
yeah, there's so many things. So like if you're again, we're talking about conversions. You can have as much proof as you want. I will even take it a step further to say that you need to consider your demographic. So Hormozi, that's who we're talking about, talks about this a lot. So if he's in a certain area where there are certain people, like if I'm marketing in Scottsdale, Arizona, that's totally different demographic than if I'm marketing where Greta lives in Indianapolis, Indiana. It's not going to be at all like I'm going to choose people who are like a majority of the people in that area, right? So make sure that you know your demographic that you're and that you want to draw in too, because people are looking for people like them. So words are great, they're pretty, but they need to see screenshots. Screenshot examples can be things like your bank account, your Stripe, text messages. Now, right now, that's really, really strong if you're watching this, and probably will be for at least the next couple years or at least year, is inside your Skool community. So why people are shifting to Skool is it's recognizable. If they see a screenshot with a blurred out face, blurred out name, they're like, oh, like that person, like to Greta's point, like it can't be altered. If Greta posted that in the Skool community, you can't alter somebody's screenshot of that, right? So doing that is going to have basically be more valid, have more proof, more likely for them to convert. Then the best of the best are videos. The best of the best are hearing somebody say it through their voice to where it's like it's not scripted. Really raw, authentic is better. Some people are like, well, do I use a fancy software? Do I like, no. The more raw, the better of them just talking on the camera from their cell phone is way better than having anything polished on like Zoom or anything like that. You want to get them to send those to you. And they don't have to be long. Some people like overthink it. It's like 30 seconds. People can only hold their attention span for so long and they're going to be able to relate. And if you can get your clients to post specific numbers, and obviously, if you work with us, Greta and I talk about this a lot. And if you join the Simplicity Ad System, we talk about this in more depth of how do you get clients to say exactly things like their wins. It's really, really hard. They're like, I helped this client like make like, you know, $600,000, like $500,000 last year. How do I get them to say that in a testimonial? Well, there's certain ways that you can prompt them to get them to say those things. And as long as use your friend ChatGPT to help you with that. But all of these, like Greta said, we had a client literally just collect a bunch of video testimonials, and we have a video editing team that does an amazing job of like just structuring them together and chopping them together. The more that you have, the better. And adding screenshots in between will help you increase your ROAS and increase your click-through rate. And you're going to see it's a lot easier to convert people. And it's really simple to say like, hey, Greta, I loved talking to you. I'm going to send you over because like, it's great that you're hearing things from me of how I've gotten results from clients, but I'm going to send you a page that outlines like wins that we've gotten our clients recently, just this last month, last quarter, and you're going to want to check them out. So like it's a great post email follow-up that you can send to them. And by the way, if you're running webinars, like I said, we love webinars. Please include like, if you're going to have a Stripe thing, please don't have it from 2024. Please have a recent Stripe like thing. Like like even Greta and I, like we're doing a masterclass coming up soon. Like we have recent, like this year, like this is what we've done this year. Like you've gone to our website, you already see what we've done over the years. This is what we've done just this year.
Yeah. Okay, so building off of that, I think Judy has really emphasized that you want to have really great visuals. You want to utilize video where you can, take screenshots when you can, but you also want to make sure you're capturing the full story. So we don't want to just show the result. We want to also show the struggle, right? People want to know, first of all, that this person wasn't just super successful and then you built on that success, right? They want to, again, see themselves in that person's shoes. So when we have ads that begin with things like, I was stuck, frustrated, and losing money, those will always outperform the ones that just start with, I hit 50K months, right? And so when we're structuring ads for any of our clients, we want to start with what is the pain point that they are solving for their individuals and how do they get them from point A to point B, right? And we want to showcase that. And again, when you work with us at Bringing Simplicity and in our Simplicity ad system, we have a whole series of questions where, you know, your first ones you're asking is like, where were you at when you reached out to me? You know, start the story there. So it sounds, when I say it again, it sounds funny, but like lead with pain and then show the proof of transformation. That bridge sells because somebody can see themselves crossing that bridge.
Sorry, I had to clear my throat. Sorry, y'all.
That just stays in here.
Right? I'm like, what? It's not leaving. Okay, so this goes. Greg, I love that you talked about this. This goes into point number 4, like seamlessly. This is the same thing you want to do when you're my throat when you're collecting a video testimony. So the bonus point 4 is when you're collecting proof. You want to collect it at their moment of greatest satisfaction, similar to what Greta just talked about. They just had a transformation, a major transformation, right? If you, for instance, are somebody who is helping somebody with their nutrition or their whatever, and they're like, I've never been able to go and enjoy my family's vacation, but now that you've given me all of these things, like I had the best vacation ever with my family because you made it super simple of like, hey, these are the things that you can eat, the supplements that you recommended me, whatever. So you're collecting that video testimonial or that written testimonial at that time. And so you don't want to wait because that high only lasts for so long. You know, you guys, many of you guys know this. Many of you guys are in relationships and you know this. Many of you have children and you know this. And you're like, oh man, I just love that person. The next minute you're like cursing them out. Because you're like, I can't believe they didn't, they didn't put their dirty cup in the dishwasher, or their, you know, the sink is so messy with, you know, hair everywhere, or whatever the case is, right? So you want to remember that moment and you want them to remember that moment and ingrain it in them. So when you do that, it's a very strategic way. And we talk about this a lot with our clients. It's how we've been able to build multiple $1-million businesses in a year is through capturing these testimonials. And you have to relate it to the pain, like Greta said. So, hey, Greta, I know before we started working together, you and I'm just talking to a client, like before you started working with us, you spent an entire year working on your business and you did $60,000. How does it feel to do that in a week? So like when you're asking them like that, like, or you're prompting them in the community and you're tagging them and you're like, you know, Greta in Skool or whatever, like you just had an awesome win. Share how you were able to execute a 5-figure launch this week with the community. Like people want to share their win. So as long as you're doing it in a way to get them to talk about that, again, like Greta said, those are going to be more powerful. Just simply saying like, oh, I had a 6-figure month last month, or I had a 5-figure, month last month, even, like that's like phenomenal if you have. isn't really going to resonate. Like everyone's gonna be like, but how? Or they're gonna say like, oh, you must sell high ticket. And then once we say like, oh, actually that person has $500 courses and they like already hit $1 million in the year for August, like they're gonna be like, oh, it's not all high ticket masterminds.
Yes.
So capturing that video proof and doing it in a way to get your clients, like Greta said, do the pain and the transformation, and at the greatest satisfaction, do it immediately. Don't wait.
So I hope you found today's episode helpful and you're already thinking of ways that you can start to capture current proof that showcases a transformation in a way where people can see themselves in the proof that you're providing. I am super excited, and I know Judy is super excited for next week, where we are going to talk about how raising your prices can actually make you more money with fewer clients. So watch our next episode where we are talking through Hormozi's point on raising prices, why fewer yeses still make you more money. We'll break down the math and the mindset behind price increases that scale profit. So see you next week.